wake up and y'all see and y'all remember I told y'all this, who y'all think y'all gonna look for first? Now look, they trying to catch us, trying to say we being terrorists, cause we speaking the truth. Shit, y'all sat here and did all this shit and think we wasn't gonna never say nothing? And just cause we saying something about it now, remember the 3/5 of a human, right? You can't talk about what you see or what you hear. So that ain't but 3 senses left. And that's how they told us we 3/5 of a human. So now that we got our voice back and our motherfucking hearing back, and we willing to stand up and say something about this shit, all of a sudden we a problem that you gotta deal with. Okay, let's go. Wake up.
Look at this, y'all. So the sun started rising. The sun started rising, and out of look, you see how they start going up there and doing their thing, right? Now check this out. Out of nowhere, these clouds started coming out of nowhere. Look, doesn't it look like The Mist? Doesn't it look like the movie, like The Mist? These clouds literally came out of nowhere, and they're going towards the sun. Look, they're going towards the sun. Now watch. Watch them move. Look, they're going towards the sun. They are going towards the sun. Why does those, look at that, y'all. Look, they're going towards the sun already. Golly. What? These are some intelligent ass clouds. These must be the smart clouds that they're talking about. Look at that, bro. Those things literally came out of nowhere. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Whatever he's doing, look at him. Nobody knows you anymore, bro. Nobody's know what you're doing anymore. Look at this. Came out of nowhere. And they're going to the sun. Creeping over already, because the sun didn't have nothing over there. Now look, miraculously, it's starting to have clouds over it. Miraculously. Look at the green, look at that green sun. Look at the green sun. That's Broly, y'all. That's literally Broly. Wow. Let's get it.
Me that Germany isn't where we think it is?
Nothing's where you think it is.
Where is it?
I'm glad you asked. The Peters projection.
It has fidelity of axis.
Fidelity of position.
East-west lines are parallel and intersect north-south axes at right angles.
What the hell is that?
It's where you've been living this whole time. Should we continue? You're probably wondering what all of this has to do with social equality.
No, I'm wondering where France really is.
When Mercator maps exaggerate the importance of Western civilization, when the top of the map is given to the Northern Hemisphere and the bottom is given to the Southern, then people will tend to adopt top and bottom attitudes.
But wait, where else could you put the Northern Hemisphere but on the top?
On the bottom.
How?
Like this.
Yeah, but you can't do that.
Why not?
Because it's freaking me out.
The first people to populate Europe were black people. They were known as Gromordi. First people to populate England were black people. They were known as Bika. First people to populate India were black people. They were known as Dravidians. First people to populate Japan, black people. They were known as Masaba Negroes. Mulembe, Kamaku, Wagasile, they came from here. They populated Japan. That's why Japanese names are like Ugandan names. Takahara, Nakamura, Kato, Toyota. All those because the first Japanese were black people. Humanity went through 5 stages. The first stages are known as Australopithecine, black. Where were they living? Where you are living. How old? How long ago? 5.5 million years ago. Who was living in Europe at that time? No one. Who was living in Asia at that time? No one. Who was living in America North? None. America South? None. Bismarck Archipelago? No one. Australia? Tonga? None. Haiti, Fiji, Samoa, who was living there? No one. Humanity was only here. 3.5 million years ago, Homo habilis. Where was he living? Here. Was he living elsewhere? No. 1.5 million years. Humanity at the stage of Homo erectus, the African that walks upright. Where is he living? Here. He lives here to populate the world. He passes through the Gulf of Eden, avoids Saudi Arabia, crosses into India. And then he goes through Kenya, Mijikenda, Tayar in Australia, and populates all the islands in between. Avoids Israel, avoids Jordan, avoids Syria. He also discovers fire. Then 150,000 years, modern man known as Homo sapien. Homo sapien. The oldest Homo sapien, the bones discovered in Omo Valley in Ethiopia and Kenya. He started where? Here. Then he moves with his feet and his cows, mobile food, and his language, articulated symbolic language, and his brain, a bigger cranium, and he populates Europe. He is the first person to populate Europe about 40,000 years ago, known as Gromoldi. In ancient time, the whole world belonged to the black man, the black woman. You are the people that populated the world. You are the people that gave birth to everybody else. And quite significantly, and I am telling you this as a scholar, I have a library of 32,000 books. I have read each one of them, not only read them, but remember them. I have traveled in almost every corner of the world, lectured at the most prestigious universities. I am telling you that in ancient time, the only people who are on earth were you and your ancestors. You. And you are also the people of the scriptures. All scripture, be it the Rig Veda, the Namapali, the Peramperu, the Papyrus of Ani, the Papyrus of Hunefa, the Quran, the Bible, the Book of Zoroaster, the Epic of Gilgamesh, is all about black people. Black people. But I know you have not heard about this information. Why? Because when white people colonize the world, they also colonize the information about the world. Some of you who have maids at home, or if you get a maid when you finish this college, you are not going to teach that maid chemistry. You are not going to teach him about viruses and pathogens. You are not going to teach them about coach's postulates. Because if they learn about this, they'll be saying, if you say go and cook, you say, oh, you know what, I cooked yesterday. And today, you might as well go and do your own cooking. Because I'm busy reading this wonderful book, about coach postulates, and he says, a virus must be available in sufficient quantities in a diseased person, for it to be blamed for causing a disease. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, white people hid the information about yourself. They didn't want to tell you you were a great person. Let me give you examples of
at NASA, our mission is for all humanity, and that's because space brings us together. There's no better proof than moments like this, a total solar eclipse. It's a moment when millions of people across North America will look to the heavens as the moon passes in front and between the sun and the earth. And it's a rare sight that we haven't seen in 7 years. And unusual things start to happen as the normal rhythms of Earth are disrupted. When you're seeing this eclipse, you ought to observe this. As the day appears to turn to dusk and then dark, people have heard birds stop singing. They've seen giraffes suddenly begin to gallop, roosters start crowing, and crickets chirp. So watch for these unusual behaviors. And we encourage you to help NASA observe the sights and sounds around you. Eclipses have a special power. They move people to feel a kind of reverence for the beauty of our universe. Their power is not only to unify us on Earth, but to further science and discovery. In 1919, Albert Einstein's theory of gravitational bending was proven when scientists measured how stars shift when the sun is blocked out by the moon. And today, over a century later, a total solar eclipse still brings great opportunity in science. Pam is going to share a little bit more about how NASA missions will use this rare moment to advance science. Safety is always NASA's #1 priority, and that remains true for this solar eclipse. Make sure you have the proper eye protection, like the eclipse glasses. And as you look at the heavens on April the 8th, when the eclipse starts, please, please put those glasses on. Now, I'm going to hand
to the Congo, pay attention to the Congo, pay attention to the Congo. Innocent people are being unalived. Women are being SA'd in front of their children. There is a rise in disease because they are just packed in so tight with each other after being displaced. The displacement is due to the presence of armed forces that are in the Congo right now. Now, this is all alleged to be connected to illegal mining that is going on in the Congo. Now, what is being illegally mined? Cobalt, 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 cobalt. Cobalt, the reason you have iPhones, the reason you have smartphones, the reason you have tablets, laptops, electric vehicles, cobalt. The Congo produces 2/3 of the world's cobalt. Cobalt is found in lithium-ion rechargeable batteries. That is where cobalt is found or placed. This country's resources are more than the cost of France.
Easter is March 31st this year. The devil has done a real good job of confusing us about times and how to keep time, how to keep the days, how to keep the months, how to keep the years. We don't even know when to celebrate Jesus' resurrection on the right day. But I'm going to do my best to try to clear this up for everybody. Bear with me here. Jesus did not raise from the dead on no March 31st. He raised from the dead during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You can read about this feast in Leviticus 23. So when is the Feast of Unleavened Bread? Well, it starts in the first month of the year, on the 14th day of the month when the sun goes down. Well, when is that? Well, to know when that is, you have to know when the month starts, and then you have to know when the year starts. So let's talk about when the month starts. Well, the word month comes from moon. Month equals moon. We all know what a full moon is, but we're a little confused about what the new moon is. We have been taught that the new moon is when the moon is gone. It's not shining any light when there's no moon. So how can the new moon be when there's no moon? I think we should call it no moon. For the sake of this video, we're going to call it the no moon. Right after the no moon, when the new moon starts to reappear, you will see a little sliver of a crescent of the moon right around sunset. And you'll be able to spot it near the sunset. Where I live on South Carolina, wherever the sun sets, it's going to be a little left and a little higher than the sun. After the no moon, when you see the new moon, which is the new sliver, right around sunset, the first night that you see that is when the month begins. So the month actually starts at night, and then the next day when the sun comes up, that's daytime, that is the first day of the month. Okay, so now that we know when the month starts, how do we know when the year starts? Because it ain't January 1st. The year starts in the spring, and doesn't that just make perfect sense that that's when God would decide when the year starts? Yahweh told us in Exodus 12, verse 2, that the first month of the year is in the spring. It's the month where we have Passover. It's the month where we had the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It's the month that we have first fruits, which is the day that Jesus rose from the dead. So we have biblical confirmation from God himself that says that the year starts in the spring, not January 1st. It makes absolutely no sense to start the year in January 1st unless you're the devil and you want to trick everybody into starting the new year at the wrong time. So when in the spring does the year start? Well, do your own research, but this is what I've come up with. This is the best answer that I've come up with based on the research that I have done. After the spring equinox, which is around March 20th on the Gregorian calendar, the first new moon, which is that sliver crescent that we talked about, the first new moon after the spring equinox, that is the biblical new year on God's calendar. This year that happens on the evening of April 9th, which is the day after the big solar eclipse, which is very interesting in my opinion. So the evening of April 9th is the beginning of the year. It's the new year. And April 10th, when the day comes up, that will be the first day of the year. So the new year starts at sundown on April 9th. Remember, we're trying to determine the day that Jesus rose from the dead, okay? Because it ain't March 31st. And it will never be March 31st. So Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts on April 23rd at sundown. And the Feast of Unleavened Bread is a week-long holiday. I may make another video about that and what that's all about, but for the sake of time of this video, we won't. So the Sunday that takes place during that week is the day that Jesus rose from the dead. It's a feast called First Fruits. Again, do your own research on this. But that is the day that Jesus rose from the dead, the Sunday during the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That day this year falls on April 28th, the day. Well, we'll start April 27th at sundown, and April 28th is the day. Day meaning the sun is up. That's the day that Jesus rose from the dead. That's the day that we should be celebrating it. So what is all this Easter crap? This video is already too long, so I'm going to go ahead and make another video exposing what Easter is all about. Don't be scared to hit follow.
Parasite, which was unleashed during the previous creations that were destroyed by God, was significantly bigger than the Hydra we are seeing now. It burrowed in the head of the person, taking control. I can only imagine that it was a painful experience. However, this time it appears to have been miniaturized in the Hydra we are seeing now. Because most people, even the most unintelligent ones, would not voluntarily allow a facehugger or giant mind-flaying Hydra to biojack them. This is why priests of the ancient mysteries, Catholic bishops, and the Egyptian pharaohs wore their weird, tall hats. It was to conceal the parasite, which would have terrified onlookers. During a ritual, this parasite would be introduced to the victim, burrowing to the top of the skull and hijacking the brain directly. I believe these alien-like, spider-like Hydra creature parasites are related to the Archons. They display an otherworldly intelligence far beyond that of a human mind, and they assume positions of power and authority, usually in religious circles.
Because they're missing certain parts. So Bowen CEO and other executives are out after a string of crises. Here's a roundup of recent issues. So on March 11th, you had a technical event, hospitalizes 5 people, right? Then on March 4th, you had a plane engine caught on fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those things where we gotta understand, the dichotomy between warning people and fear mongering. I'm warning people about what is to come. Now, you can get your ass on the plane if you want to, but you can't say that nobody tell you, right? Just like I told people about the March 25th and the 26th incident when you're talking about the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsing, right? About demolition. I said something about that a month ago on the big event video. And I said, be very meticulous of your surroundings around March, because March is a sacrificial month, right? It's a time of harvesting for the plutocracy and the global elite. This is how they harvest our energy by way of a blood sacrifice, right? So now, also, you got on 7th of March, wheels fall off plane, damaging cars below, right? Then you got on 8th of March, plane skids off runway in Houston.
They
then
all
March
United
13th,
Airlines.
You got the footage release of fuel leak.
They're going to fuel.
And then today, you just had United Airlines Boeing 777 diverted to Denver during Paris flight over engine issue, right? So it's one of those things, man, you got to come to the realization that we living in the Great Awakening period and everything is all wide open while they in mid-flight. That's crazy. But like I said, get on them damn airplanes if you want to. I know you want to go to California, you want to go to Florida, you want to go to Miami, you want to go on, beaches and stuff like that and go to different countries. Do your thing, you know what I'm saying? If you traveling out of town to get a bag, get your coins. But like I said, don't say that nobody warned your ass. And everything is all wide open while they in mid-flight. That's crazy. But like I said, get on them damn airplanes if you want to. I know you want to go to California, you want to go to Florida, you want to go to Miami, you want to go on, beaches and stuff like that and go to different countries. Do your thing, you know what I'm saying? If you traveling out of town to get a bag, get your coins. But like I said, don't say that nobody warned your ass.
It's two of them. They went down behind those trees.
Electricity and solar power. Interesting you should say that. You know that the Africans have been doing this thing for the longest. They have a young brother in Africa. I don't know if they killed him yet. But this guy had a car that ran on radio waves. Wow. Damn. The brother built a car that ran on Wi-Fi. And that was going to be a threat to your boy Musk. So what did Musk do? Musk took another technology that they stole, that they killed this white boy for, and they killed him because he had his car running on water. Now, Musk says, you know what? This whole electricity car bullshit don't work. I said it didn't work. I knew it wasn't going to work. Why? Because it was another tool of the so-called deep state to be able to shut you down and create parametric.
Small. That's why they're panicking. That's why they're really hurt. And you're going to see a lot more this year. Sunglasses. Joker's going to be wearing sunglasses when it's cloudy outside. Just so that you know that. Let me make that very clear. When it's cloudy outside,
they already are.
So I value, I appreciate each and every last one of y'all. These satellites is picking up energy from the backside of the planet. April next Monday, get out there and get that sun. Get out there and get the sun now. Shit the hell wrong with you? Don't just sit around in the house. Get out there and get that sun. Don't let nobody fool you. Don't let nobody fool you. You are neuromelanin. You are you are a energetic being.
With the big flex.
You are a ball of energy. You feed everything. Trust me, nothing exists without you. Without us as a whole. Nothing. This fucking speaker, this cell phone, nothing exists without us.
Let's go to the next one. Dr. Joseph Mercola, he's featured on Lou Rockwell today with a very, very shocking article. The federal government is tracking the unvaccinated. And do the next one because it just introduces it.
Right when you thought you just had to be a trapper or a drug dealer or some shit like that to be tracked. No, they tracking everything. Everything.
Dr. Robert Malone, we've talked about Dr. Malone. He's one of the scientists who were canceled during COVID, punished for being right. But he's discovered that the U.S. government...
Punished for being right. You know what's crazy is they was punishing all of it. If we was to say the name back then, they'd take the video down. It's crazy.
The government has secretly been tracking those who did not get the COVID shot or are only partially vaccinated. It was a program implemented in April of 22, but was universally adopted by most medical clinics and hospitals in January of 23. Under the program, doctors at clinics and hospitals have been instructed to ask patients.
And these niggas finding the extra time to cloud seed and extra beautiful patterns and stuff like that.
Oh,
We're gonna poison them. We're gonna poison them in style. I'm gonna hit them with the swivel today. Why is that shit so funny though? That's so fucking retarded, bro. Like that's so. Look, man, you gotta find a way. That's how we survive everything, bro. Like we laugh, we have a good time, we figure things out, we figure out workarounds, man. You can't boggle yourself down with negative emotions and stuff like that. You have to keep moving forward and move on. That's why I teach laughter. I teach resilience. I teach brilliance. Bars, you feel me? But that's what we do here, you know? We have a good time, but that shit crazy, though. These niggas really lost their goddamn minds. Look, and burning the Bibles and shit all of a sudden. But that shit was y'all motherfucker. Oh, man, let's not. I ain't gonna go there. We're gonna keep going, though. But look, it's transitions into, have y'all seen them, the TV series,